Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Sabrina Achampong. I am a sophomore at Berea College studying in business administration, and I am interviewing Pat Dillon today. Pat, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Sabrina. My name is Pat Dillon. I'm an assistant professor of gerontology at Berea College. So I teach courses on adult development and courses related to aging and the conditions and processes of aging and being older. And what I do in gerontology, in a nutshell, is gerontology is the study of aging. But I see in the longer version of the definition of gerontology, really it's a holistic and integrative approach to understanding and doing something about the processes and conditions of being older and of older persons.
Wow, very, very interesting. So, are you a volunteer or a member of Berea Home Village?
I am a volunteer, a proud volunteer of Berea Home Village, and I'm also on the board, and I'm very honored to be in that position as well.
Beautiful. Now, I really find the study of gerontology to be very interesting considering you are working with elderly people. So, how do you combine the two, the study and the passion to help?
I tell you, I should start off with what Carla Bowman, our current board president, has said repeatedly. And she asserts that Berea Home Village's time is come, that the time has come for Berea Home Village. And I would add that Berea Home Village's time has come because Berea Home Village embodies age friendliness and age friendly community. So, and the reason that's important is because our population is aging. I mean, we are living now and for decades to come when our population structure will have unprecedented numbers of older people and proportion of older people. So by 2060, the population of older adults will have nearly doubled since 2018. So what that means is the average age of a Berea College student now, when they are approaching an age that most people would consider older, they will be living in a world where there will be many more older adults. There'll be more adults, older adults than children. And the older adults will be more diverse in terms of racial and ethnic composition. So it will be a much different world, and age friendliness will be more and more urgent as we continue through these decades of population aging.
Wow, that was a well-rounded response. Thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
what got you into Berea Home Village in the first place, and how long have you been with them?
I think officially as a volunteer and board member since 2019. I came on board as a faculty member in Berea in the fall of 2018. I had heard about it from a colleague who mentioned that, you know, put Berea Home Village on my radar as a gerontologist. But I finally got to meet with Carla Bowman, the board president, to talk about things. And she came to me asking, how can we measure Berea Home Village's impact? How can we measure our impact? And I thought that was a wonderful question that I couldn't really answer at the time, and I'm in the process of research that will help answer that. But that's how I got started. And the more that I have learned and worked with other volunteers and members of Berea Home Village, the more that the mission really aligns with my own personal vision of age friendliness for Berea.
That is beautiful. Wow. So do you also take care of parents of your own or parents-in-law?
Well, my parents have since deceased. So my wife's parents, her father recently died. She was the primary caretaker, her and her mom. But my experience with older adults, aside from my parents at one time, is I've had over 30 years experience as a physical therapist. I'm not practicing now since I've been an instructor, but I've had a lot of experience working with older adults, either in skilled nursing facilities or home health or in an outpatient setting.
Oh, thank you. So how can Berea Home Village help those who are terminally ill?
Berea Home Village could be helpful to anyone, whether they're terminally ill or not, by providing the services, programming, and social support that Berea Home Village offers.
I like that. That was a really nice save. Okay. So, last year and this year, we pretty much the world has been faced with this pandemic, COVID-19, and it has affected many lives, including the elderly. So, how has COVID-19 personally affected you, and how have you been able to help and assist Berea Home Village during the pandemic?
Well, in the same way as anyone, physical distancing, and that has been particularly devastating or potentially devastating, because physical distancing can lead to social loss of social connection and isolation. So Berea Home Village, typically it operates by working in person with its members, whether that is providing transportation or visits or modifications or help in the home a little bit. So those had to really be restricted over the past year. So Berea Home Village adapted and really upped its number of social contacts with members. We know that that social isolation and loneliness is linked to higher rates of death or disease in older people. In fact, the risk of death and disease connected to social isolation in older adults is the equivalent of smoking cigarettes. I mean, it affects the health and well-being of older adults that much. And it's not just psychological effects, which are serious or can be serious, but it's actual, it translates into physical problems as well. So the Berea Home Village adapted that way. It provided reliable and accurate information about the pandemic. And a lot of our members may not have the access or the skills to make appointments for COVID vaccines. And they are the ones that need it the most, because they're at the higher risk for adverse consequences with being infected with the COVID-19 virus. So Berea Home Village was instrumental in helping members not only get appointments for their vaccines, but get them there to have the vaccines. So I'm so proud of our volunteers and our board in the way that that we have responded to that challenge.
That is actually a great segue into my next question, which is what is one thing you love about Berea Home Village's volunteers?
For one, this was completely community driven. I mean, the Berea Home Village is not very old. It is still a new nonprofit organization. And it came about, as I understand, through a group of interested community members, and somehow it developed into not a successfully launched nonprofit organization that addresses the community in a way, as I said, in a way that is urgently needed. They are remarkable, Sabrina. And I'm so fortunate to be, among them.
Yes. I really like how you emphasized community, because it's not even just in the town of Berea, but also in the college. Berea College is so community-based, and we're all working together and working with each other. So I'm glad to see that this is the establishment in the area. That's beautiful. Well, do you have any special message for the workers of Berea Home Village?
For the volunteers, just thank you. Thank you. And I think it speaks to the community. Berea it is a special community. And I think Berea, because Berea College is part of it, those two things are not unrelated. So yeah, thank you, and thank you for being so community minded and looking after brothers and sisters of all ages.
Wonderful. And our last question, can you tell us a joke?
A joke?
Yes.
Oh, you've really put me on the spot here. I don't know. You know what the most important thing is about a joke? Timing.
Oh, wow. Okay, I like that. I like that. Awesome.
Hey, I'm just brimming over with stuff about Berea Home Village. Does this mark the end of the interview?
This actually does mark the end of the interview. I just want to say thank you so much, Pat Dillon, for being on the board, for contributing and having so much to say. Because I know there are so many people who are going to come across this video and have their questions answered just by your response. So I thank you for just being able to do this.
Well, it's been lovely spending time with you, Sabrina, and feel free to reach out anytime.
Yes, sir. All right. Can we wave to the people? All right.